So we're home from the Incredibles, and what we decided to do was we actually stopped at a local diner and had supper tonight. So I was going to make homemade biscuits. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm going to make them for the freezer. So in this bowl, let me angle my camera. In this bowl right here, I have 6 cups of organic white flour, unbleached, and I'm getting ready to add some ingredients to that. Okay, to this, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of aluminum-free baking powder. There's 3, and 1 more makes 4. Let me let you see what I'm doing here. And to this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Himalayan salt. And then I'm going to grab the butter and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to need 2 sticks of butter, and I froze them, and I'm going to grate them right into the bowl. So 2 sticks of butter is going to equal 1 cup of butter, which is what I need. And instead of cutting it with a pastry cutter, it's just faster and easier to get your butter freezing cold and then grate it. So that's what I'm doing, and almost got the first stick, and I'm gonna reach into the freezer. This is what your consistency is gonna look like. So I'm gonna reach into the freezer and get the second stick and get that grated up. I've mixed my grated butter in, my baking powder, and my salt, and my organic flour. And now I'm gonna add 3 cups of milk into this mixture. So here's the thing with biscuit dough. You don't want to overmix it. So I barely mix this up just so it comes together in a really soft, loose ball. And then I'm going to dump this out on my countertop, and I'm going to show you what I do next. So what I did was I dumped my biscuit dough out of the bowl, and then I don't roll my biscuit dough out. I just use my hands, flatten it lightly, depending on the thickness that you want your biscuits. And then I'm going to use this biscuit cutter to cut out some biscuits and put them over on this cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. So I'm going to get started with that. It was hard to do one-handed. So here's what they look like when they're cut out. And I've got them on the cookie sheet to flash freeze. So you can see here where I cut one out, and then it's going to the cookie sheet, and I'm going to continue with all this biscuit dough until I get them all cut out. So far, this is what I have on the cookie sheet. This is where I cut them out, so I'm going to put this dough back together. Here's the remainder of the dough, and then I'm just going to continue cutting them out. So I wound up with 20 biscuits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flash freeze these. It'll take a couple of hours. I'll stick them in a gallon-sized bag. And then when I get ready to bake them, I'll put them out on the counter and let them thaw for a little bit, and then I'll bake them off. But this saves time. It's also better than the processed canned biscuits. So this is just one way I do biscuits in advance. I pre-made some pizza dough as well, and I'm going to put some saran wrap over the top of this and press it down, make sure it's covering the dough so it doesn't form a film. And then I'm just going to stick this in the fridge for up to 3 days. I'm going to make pizza at some point, maybe tomorrow, but the pizza dough will be made and it'll be sitting and waiting in the refrigerator.